Hey, welcome back everybody. Today's video is going to be on the custom caboose I just built. Took 3 cabooses and built one. Kind of cool. Something I've been thinking about doing for a while. So I picked some cabooses up at the Dayton train show so I could do it. And I added lighting to it. In this video I'll show you all that. Alright, in this video I'm going to attempt to take these 3 cabooses and make one really cool caboose. I picked these up at Dayton train show about I don't know, a couple months ago or so. So I like how these tops are on here. It's got these little tops. And this one has the bay windows in it. It's kind of cool. These, I'm not sure what brand these are. Almost like an Atheron's. This one, not an Atheron. That's not Atheron. These two are the same brand. Here's some cheap cabooses I picked up. So I got tons of other cabooses. So I want to combine these two and have the tops on each end of the caboose. And then add the bay windows to the center. Maybe it's like some sort of work caboose or something. Not sure what railroad. I'll probably do it for PTS in Ohio. So I may add some lighting and some other details and stuff like these rails. I'll probably shave those off, put real brass rails on, and got a couple nice sets of ladders. So, but I think I'm gonna probably cut them about to where this window is. They're both the same caboose, just different road names. I'll cut them right here in this section and then put them together. So it'll probably be a little bit longer than it normally would. And then may have to fill in some of the windows and cut these bay windows out of this and add to it. And then put windows and all that other good stuff in there. Maybe some lights. I've seen some guys put lights in the cabooses. It's kind of cool. So I may do something like that. If I can get, if I got extra wheels I can use for electrical pickup. So I'm going to start cutting this and show you the progress as we go along here. All right, I got them all taken apart. Pretty simple to do. This is the Atheron one. I didn't need to take it all apart. I just need to take the shell off of it so I could cut those bay windows out of the sides. These ones come apart pretty easy. Just some screws holding the trucks on, and then a couple screws holding the chassis to the floors, which were held in by these little plastic clips. Got all those walkways and stairs and everything popped off pretty easy. So now I gotta cut my frames and my floors and get it where I want it, and then I'll cut the shells to fit. So all right everybody, this is the progress I got done. Looks pretty cool. It's starting to look pretty cool, I should say. Let's cut those 2 shells and put them together. Here's the other side. Got both the boxes on there on the bottom. It just comes apart pretty simple. Get this off there maybe. A tab. Then on the inside I just put a couple pieces of styrene to hold it together. That's it. It's nice and tight. And then the frame. Got a piece of styrene there on the top to hold it together nice and straight. So, and then got the frames cut. And let's see here. Did half of that one. And the other half, maybe. Well, so be in there like that, and once them are glued in or whatever, I'll glue them together. Then the screws right here hold them down, because you got to be able to take these frames off to put the couplers in and out. But should look pretty good. So now we got to try to cut these bay windows out of this caboose And then I'm going to try to put them in here somewhere on each side. So let me get that done there. All right, everybody, I got it all put together. I got those windows cut out of that one caboose, those bay windows, and installed them into this. All I did was line them up where I wanted them and took a pencil and marked it and cut out the side of the old caboose. And I had to cut the bottoms of these windows off and kind of shorten them so they'd fit in there a little better. They were hanging down too far, so I had to make them fit and glued them in. So, and then I used some of that putty that I got, this stuff right here, to fill in them spots, you know, where it need filled in. Let it dry all night and then just lightly sanded it, and took my razor knife here and worked it out of some of the spots, and real small flathead screwdriver and kind of scraped it smooth here and there. But I think it turned out okay. Once I primer it, get a better look at it and see if I need to do any more sanding anywhere. But I think a primer and the paint will hide most of that if there's anything left. So I'm going to paint it. It's going to be like a dark blue, and then probably paint this end, maybe this end too, black, and then paint the roofs black. So, and then on the inside, I'll probably just paint the interior black, and then add some LED lighting if I can, and then put windows and maybe a couple people in there. So I think it's starting to look pretty cool. So, and the bay windows are offset from each side too. So as you can see, this one's back here and this one's up here a little more forward that way. So I'm gonna get it primered and let it dry, and we'll see what it looks like. All right, I got the caboose all primered, and it looks pretty good. It's got a couple little spots, but I think the paint will fill that in. So the primer I used, just good old Rust-Oleum automotive primer. All that stuff works pretty good. So I'm going to get the airbrush out and airbrush the blue. It'll be on the sides and around the sides of these tops and stuff. So I'll airbrush all the blue. And then the roofs will be black, and some of the other things will be painted black, and both the ends I think I may do black too. I'll just brush paint those. So with the brush paint, especially on the roofs, you can leave a little bit of the brush strokes in it, and it'll give it that look like it's been tarred or something, you know, like a tarred roof or something. So a little extra detail. And then I got the old handrails shaved off and drilled out for new ones on both sides. So I'll make some brass ones, paint those. And then the walkways, I gotta, once I get this all painted, I'll go ahead and cut these and install these where they need to be on the roof and glue them in, and then lightly paint these with a coat of black probably, and then I'll clear coat it all. So I'm gonna go over here and get my airbrush ready, and probably put about 4 or 5 passes of the blue on here, and then let it dry, and then paint the black. So okay, I got the caboose all painted blue. So I sprayed with my airbrush about 6, 7 coats to get really good coverage. And it sprays down real thin. So you can see it didn't hide no details or anything. So now I'll have to paint the roof black and some other things black. But I like that color blue. That color blue is the Apple Barrel Admiral Blue. And same color I used when I paint my V&O locomotives and cabooses and whatever. So that's the blue that I found. I think matches pretty close. It was close enough for me, let's put it that way. So to spray this in my airbrush, you have to mix it with some thinner. I got this homemade thinner. I've tried other few thinners and they don't work that good for me. Like distilled water in the paint or thin it with rubbing alcohol. That never worked good for me. So I got this one, and I found this one online somebody was using, and I tried it and worked great. So basically, just windshield washer fluid, the blue from the old Walmart or dollar store. And what I do is take like a cup and fill it full of washer fluid and put it in my jug, and then a cup of distilled water and put it in my jug. So you mix it 50-50. And then I'll take me, just maybe a couple teaspoons of the 91% alcohol, put in it. And then we got this here. You can get this at the Walmart. About 3 nice drops into my Gatorade jug. And then I just shake it up and get it mixed up real good. So, you know, probably $10 will make you a couple gallons of thinner. It'll last you a good while. So that's my thinner and how I spray it through an airbrush. And I just use cheap airbrush. I got a couple nice Badgers, and that last one I bought at Harbor Freight. It was like $19. Still working. Ain't had a problem with it yet. Just gotta make sure as soon as you're done painting, clean it out. Don't let it sit around and dry up. Just clean it out as soon as you're done. So now I get to painting the parts that need painted black, and then I'll put the roof walks on and stuff. So I'll show you the black one. I'm just going to brush it on. So let me get it painted black. All right, I got it all painted here. So, and then I put a coat of clear over it. So now I got this painted too. And then I got the inside painted black, cover up all that stuff on the inside. And then the frame painted. And 2 side boxes painted blue. So now we got to build the walkways. I go on the top, cut those so they fit, and probably paint those, and then probably add the handrails to each of the sides, and start decaling, I guess. And once I get it decaled and it dries, probably do another coat of clear over top of that, and then we can put the windows in and hopefully get some LEDs put in it. So I'm going to have to find some wheels. This has got just original plastic wheels, so I'll have to find some metal wheels. Probably got some around here somewhere. But I'm going to try to add a LED for the interior, and maybe see what I can find, and maybe put a light on the back here. Whatever side's going to be the back, guess it doesn't matter. So let me get that done. All right, I started decaling this, and I got my little hand grabs added. I made out of brass, and PTS in Ohio, number 426. So, and then quality or 0 injuries, and Operation Lifesaver decals. So I think that looks pretty good. I'll let those I've let those dry for a couple hours, and then I flipped it over to the other side and started decaling the other side. So I started out with the white stripe, and I cut it a little bit longer than I needed, and overhanged in the windows. So once it dries all the way, you just take a little razor, like a little X-Acto knife, and I can just slice those off. If you do it while it's still wet, then it might slide around a little bit. So it's best just to let them overhang, I think. That's how I do it. And I'm using the stripes or K4 decals, which are probably one of my favorite decals. If you're going to use decals, go to his website or his eBay store, and he's got thousands. He's got about anything you can think of, and his decals are awesome. And for these Fusion scale graphics, found these off eBay, and they also have the other ones too. So he does those. I got those from him, and these are real good decals. And then for the lettering, I'm just trying to use up some of my old micro scales. I'm just cutting them out with my razor knife individually and putting them where I want. Micro scale is pretty good decals. I like them. Not as good as the K4 though. They're a little bit, once they get some age to them, let them sit around for a couple years, they seem to get brittle. I've not noticed that with the K4 decals yet. I've had them stripes for well over a year and no problems. So marker scale decals are pretty good. The only ones I've really ever had a problem with is like their stripes, like the white stripes. You'll go to put them, they'll break real easy and stuff. But the K4 ones, I've never really had any problems of them breaking unless I pull on them real hard, but usually not. So to do the decals, I'm using this to put a little bit down before I put the decal on. And then once it's on for a little bit, then I kind of dab it with some of this, help it form around the rivets and the contours and stuff. But I got my little jug or little container of warm water that I soak the decals in to get them off the paper backs. And then let's see here, I'll see if I can get one ready here, kind of show you. Hold on one second. Okay, so I take my Q-tip here, has a little bit of setting solution on it. Probably gets a little bit more. And then we're going to start with the and symbol. So let's put a little bit on there. It's been soaking for a few seconds. So see if I can do this with this camera in front of me here. Kind of hard. All right. And these Q-tips are just the ones that stay closed and you have to open them. These work, or the whatever these things are. Can't think of it right now. So I just peel it off just a hair, enough so I can grab it with my toothpick here and hold it on there. Maybe. See? And set it right there where about where I want it. Let's see, let's flip over to the other side real quick. Get a idea about how far it needs to be down. So right above that line. And then just slide it around with my little thing here. Got too much liquid on there, so I dab it up a little bit. And move it right into position. And right about in there. And then we'll get another one on here. See. The T. Set it in the water. Pull another one out here. This is the S. Slides right off there. Kind of dry those things off a little bit. Get some of that water off. A little bit of that on there. Pull it right there. And then it's hard to do this with the camera in my face. And let's see, there you go. To get the kind of the idea there, drop my toothpick and just slide it. Let's see what it looks like on the other side so we can get them about the same. So it's right past those rivets. So right in there somewhere probably. Let's see. like so. And then we got, let's see, what's this one, the T. Big old fingers, little bitty decals is a pain in the butt. I use my fingernail just to slide it just a little bit and then re-grip it with these little tweezers. And then just a little bit of solution. And then the decal. And then we'll get the P. Well, try this a little different here. There we go. And the P. Slide it over a little bit. Too much water on there. I just wipe it off with my pants. That. A little bit of this on there. And toothpick. Slide right off. Now we line them up to where I want them. So I'll slide the T over a little closer. And get them straight sometimes is a pain in the butt. But you just gotta work with it. You got quite a bit of time to move them around where you want. Takes a while for these to set up. So I just sometimes always pain in the butt, try to get them exactly straight and perfect and all that. Is got to work with them. That looks pretty close, I guess. Move it over just a little. Let's see. Okay. Now what I'll do, since these are little ones like that, you can dab them. But you gotta be careful, just straight down, straight off. So you don't move them. Move them too much. And I did on the T, it looks like a little bit. It's such a pain. It's easier when it's just all one big decal and you just don't have to piece letters together. So, and the P might be a little crooked. And go back a little bit. I don't know. There we go. Now what I'll do is let those dry for about 5-10 minutes. And then I'll take some of this, the micro set, and just get a little bit on my Q-tip here and just lightly dab them. That'll help them form around the rivets and any contours or anything. And see, I just dab it on there real lightly. You don't want to get too much on there because this will shrink it. You don't want to shrink it enough to where it'll start splitting and stuff like that. So stuff works good. You just got to do a little bit of time. So that's it to decaling. Pretty simple. Just got to take your time. Trying to get everything straight is about the hardest thing about it. And then I did the other side a few hours ago, and it's been drying for about 3-4 hours maybe. I let it dry really good before I flipped it over to the other side. And then I'll let these, when I get this done, I'll let these dry all night long before I clear coat it. So I'll make sure they're good and dry. Then I'll do one little light coat of clear over it. And before I clear it, I got to paint these grab irons, and I'm going to repaint that. I got the walkways in and stuff. I'm gonna paint those. Then I'll give it one light coat of clear. And then after that, I'll put the windows in and then see if I can figure out if I can find me some wheels and stuff and put some LED lighting into it. But I think it's starting to look pretty cool. A little different kind of caboose, like a work caboose of some kind. Just something I was thinking of a long time ago, and figure I would try to find me some cabooses at a train show that were both the same that I could put together, and then some of those bay windows. So I'm gonna finish decaling this and let it dry all night, and then I'll be back. All right, I got the caboose all done. Decaled, final coat of clear. These hand grabs on the ends put on, painted. So windows installed. There's a person right there, kind of the arm hanging out like they're waving, going down the tracks. Got the ladders on the ends. And it's got LEDs. One up here and one back here. And for the LEDs, I just use these. I think they're a 5mm size. A little bit bigger than the 3s I usually use. But they gave me enough light for what I wanted. So they work. They just run your resistor and everything. Pretty simple to do. And then on the back side of the caboose, this will be the rear. It's got a little LED in there, like end of the train light or something. So it's kind of cool. And this is it right here. These things are super little. See it? Not very big. And here's a pencil to compare the size to it. It's about the same size as the end of that pencil. So these come in handy for doing ditch lights and whatever else you need them in nice little small areas, small little light. And they're pretty bright for what they are. So they work great. I got these off eBay for, I don't know, a few bucks for a pack of 25 or so of them. And they came with the resistors. So nothing to it. Just wire them up just like you would any other one. And then I made this have electrical pickup from the track. So the trucks, or the original trucks, got different wheels that do electrical pickup. And took a piece of styrene tube, cut it real small, ran me a brass rod through it, and glued it all in there and glued it to the truck. And then soldered a wire to that brass rod and drilled a hole through the chassis and ran it up and through the chassis on both these. So this one picks up electrical current from this side, and then this one picks it up from the other side. And ran the wires into the inside and ran my LEDs off that. So, and when it's going, see, that's the rear. So if it's going down the tracks and this is the rear, the lights will be on. But if it's going in reverse, the lights won't be on. They'll be off. So they only come on when it's going in forward. So now I just have to take it over the track and let it run around a couple times and take a good look at it. So I don't think I've ever seen a caboose kind of like this one. I've been wanting to make a custom caboose for a while. I've had this idea in my head. I think it would look cool if I did one like this. So there at the Dayton train show, I found 2 cabooses of the same maker. So, they would go together a lot easier. And then found one with the bay windows in it. And I'd cut those out and add to it. And it turned out pretty good, I think. So not too bad. You can still see some of the spots on it, but it's an old caboose. Cabooses were made years ago. They don't make new ones anymore. And the bottom's coming out there. Looks like. There we go. See what's up with that. These pushed up in there just a little bit. So, but I think it turned out pretty nice. Just for a couple cheap cabooses I bought and everything. It says it's got some weight to it. So we'll take it over to the track and see how it does. I got some other trains running. Here comes the PTS in Ohio. Down the lower level here, I'm running some Indiana and Ohio. And there comes the Cincinnati Eastern. Then up on the top level, I got a Santa Fe and UP. There's a new locomotive I just got. It's a Cato locomotive. Runs super nice. Here it comes. Oh look, a snack for me. Here comes that Cincinnati Eastern locomotive. Well, I hope you all enjoyed this video on my custom caboose I built. It took 3 cabooses to make one. I got them at I didn't have any, so I had to find some, and I found some at the Dayton Train Show. So I added the lighting to it, and as you've seen, it was flickering as it was going around the track here and there, and then through the switches too, it would flicker and stuff. So I ordered some capacitors the other day, so when they get in, a few other little things, I'm going to try to fix that problem. And if I get it fixed, then I'll probably do a video on that, on how I fix that, so it wouldn't be flickering. We'd probably do it to passenger cars or whatever. So, but I hope you all enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.